What if the world we see isn't the whole story? It turns out science is always peeling back these layers of reality, and what we're finding underneath, well, it's changing everything. In this explainer, we're going to explore how new tools and fresh ways of thinking are uncovering truths that were hidden in plain sight all along. All right, let's jump right in with a creature that is just a perfect example of this. For 150 years, scientists thought they knew the Pinocchio chameleon inside and out. But guess what? New genetic tools just revealed this incredible secret. It wasn't the species they thought it was. It was a completely different one, hiding right under their noses the entire time. And that right there shows you that discovery is so often about looking again at what we think we already know. That's actually the thread connecting the four different mysteries we're going to unravel today. Everything from how birds make friends, to a virus's secret weapon, the hidden dangers inside our own bodies, all the way out to the cosmic origins of the moon. Okay, first up, a social mystery. We're diving into the world of birds, but you might find this one feels surprisingly familiar. Think about it. How do you make a new friend? It can be a little awkward, kind of nerve-wracking, right? Well, for monk parakeets, walking up to a stranger isn't just awkward, it's actually dangerous. A bird that's not interested could get pretty aggressive. So what do? They've developed this really careful step-by-step process. Yeah, researchers basically saw this whole friendship playbook unfold. Step 1, a parakeet just cautiously gets a little closer. If that goes okay, they might move to step 2 and start sharing the same perch, just getting comfortable with each other. It's only after that that they get to the really trusting stuff, like preening each other's feathers or sharing a snack. It's this really delicate dance of building trust, one step at a time.
And this is where it gets really cool, the human connection. The lead researcher, Claire O'Connell, she was watching all this happen right after she'd moved to a new city herself. And she had this aha moment. She realized she was going through the exact same process trying to make her own new friends. It's just a perfect reminder of how science can sometimes hold up a mirror to our own lives.
All right, so from the world of parakeets that we can see, let's shrink way, way down. We're talking microscopic level. The mystery here is, how can a tiny, almost simple virus like rabies be so incredibly good at taking over our super complex cells? I mean, look at this mismatch. A human cell has something like 20,000 different proteins just to run the show. The rabies virus, it's working with a genetic code for only 5. Just 5. So how in the world does it pull off this hostile takeover with such a tiny toolkit?
Well, the answer is pretty amazing. It all comes down to one incredibly clever tool, something called the P protein. The best way to think about it is like a biological Swiss Army knife, or maybe even a shape-shifting secret agent. It's not stuck doing just one thing.
And here's its master plan. By literally changing its physical shape, the P protein can do a bunch of different jobs. First, it can shut down our cell's immune defenses. Then it sneaks into the cell's command center and completely hijacks the machinery. Before you know it, it's turned our own cells into little factories that just pump out more of the virus. Figuring out this shape-shifting trick is absolutely crucial for scientists who are trying to design better ways to fight back. Okay, let's bring our focus back inside, to an invisible threat hiding in our own bodies. This is a pretty fascinating mystery that connects what our bodies are made of to the health and even the age of our brain. It turns out not all fat is created equal. Using some really advanced MRI scans and AI, scientists were able to look at 2 different kinds of belly fat. The first kind, subcutaneous fat, that's the stuff right under your skin. Turns out it didn't really have a meaningful link to brain aging. But the other kind, visceral fat, this is the hidden stuff that wraps around your organs. That was a different story. It seems to act like a silent saboteur, possibly because it promotes inflammation throughout the body, which then affects the brain. And when you look at the data, it's just, wow, it's so clear. People with more muscle mass, that's the bar on the left, their brains actually looked biologically younger. But on the other hand, those with more of that dangerous visceral fat on the right, that was directly linked to a brain that looked biologically older. It's such a powerful picture of that mind-body connection. All right, for our last mystery, we are zooming out, way out, to a cosmic scale. We're going to use tiny little chemical clues to solve a 4.5 billion-year-old question. Where did our moon actually come from? So the leading theory is wild. It's called the Great Impact. The idea is that a planet about the size of Mars, which scientists have nicknamed Theia, came hurtling through space and smashed right into a very young Earth. That incredible collision
threw a massive cloud of debris into orbit, and over time, that debris clumped together and formed our moon. But, I mean, how do you even begin to prove something that happened billions of years ago? Well, scientists basically became cosmic detectives. They analyzed moon rocks brought back by the Apollo missions, looking for unique chemical signatures. They focused on isotopes, which are kind of like different flavors of an element, like iron or titanium. These isotopes are like a chemical fingerprint that can tell you where the building blocks of a planet or moon came from. And by carefully matching these isotopic fingerprints from Earth and the moon rocks, they could finally figure out what Theia was made of. And the verdict was in. Theia wasn't some stranger from the outer reaches of the solar system. Nope, it was our next-door neighbor formed right here in the same cosmic neighborhood as Earth. So, when you step back and look at all of this, from parakeet friendships to viral tactics, from our own health to the birth of the moon, there's this one clear unifying theme, isn't there? With enough persistence and with the right new tools, whether it's genetics or MRIs or isotope analysis, we can solve even the oldest, most complicated mysteries. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Discovery isn't always about finding brand new things. So often, it's about revealing truths that have been right there in front of us the whole time, just waiting for us to find a new way to see them. So, if these are the secrets we've uncovered today, what hidden worlds will science show us tomorrow?